Me again. So I just created a cute little editable tasting sheet that you can use for your wine tastings. So let's pop over in to share my screen and show you Canva. So in the Canva design, as I shared in my previous video, if you're going to share a design with somebody, you click the share button in the right-hand corner. Your information will pop up in this little box. It says share a link to edit. Always, if you're going to share something that somebody else can access and that they can edit for themselves, do share the link to use as a template. Now, if you're creating something that you just want somebody to view this file and they can't have access to it any other way, you don't want them to edit it, change anything, then you can do share a link to view, which is kind of fun if you want to do that for, maybe if you put together a little booklet, maybe if you put together a cute little flyers or something and you just don't want somebody to change it, like you're sending it to an organization that's going to be showing it someplace, or a little, maybe even a presentation, you want to just share the link to view, you can do that as well. But we're going to do share the link to template, and then I'm going to copy the link. So I'll show you how I put this on our CE image sharing page. So when we pop it on here, and when you post something on this page, please be sure to write in exactly what your design, your graphic, whatever it is that you're posting, what it relates to, because this helps all of us when we're looking for something. We're going to use the little search button up here in the right hand corner, this little search button, in any group that you're on, whether it's a One Hope group, your own groups that you're in, your team pages, anything like that, use that search feature because it's really super helpful. You'd be amazed at what information you're going to find. So I'm going to paste in my link and I'm going to say tasting editable. If you need to give instructions or anything, you can add instructions in here. I'm going to say, drag and drop to wines on tasting sheet. And I'm going to show you exactly how you're going to be able to do that. I'm going to say see video tutorial in the guides section. Best way to drag and drop. Just in case somebody doesn't know. So when you open this up, it'll open up as a template, and then you will be able to use it on your Canva account. I don't think that I'm using any of the elements in here that are for the pro version, because everything I think I put in here is just all of our One Hope stuff already. So what I did was I just created a flyer. I had this little heading up at the top. This picture is editable, so if you want to put a different picture in here, you can drag and drop a different picture in here. Let's say you wanted to put this winery picture. If you have one in your Canva, you can just upload it and pop it up here. It's not going to work very well. See, it doesn't look that good there. So I'm just keeping that winery is just going all over the place. I'm just keeping the wine tasting glass here. Now, let's say you're not using these 5 wines that are on this wine tasting sheet, but you have some other wines, or maybe you just have one other wine that you want to pop in here. These, you can just move them. Oops, let me fix this really fast. Look, you get to see me work in action. So I'm going to group these together. Group. So now I can move this cab. So I'm going to add another bottle of wine in here. Just change the size a little bit. Cabernet. Change the size of this Pinot just a little tad bit here. So these were interesting because I got most of the images. Some of these are from the website where I just did a save as on the picture from the website. Other ones are from the June featured wine list that you find in the index. So I had to kind of cut and paste some of them together because the June wine list no longer has the number on it that says, you know, if it was 90 points or whatever it may have been, or this gold medal one for the rosé. So I just kind of cut and pasted this information on for this one. And you can see how that works. So I'm going to make this as a group. So if you decide to use that one, it'll be all together. So all of these images down here below are from the June featured wine list. So let's say we're going to add in a red blend. Let's say we're going to add in a reserve. We're going to add in the Shiraz. So there's two things you can do. You can click this and you can physically like drag it up there. You can also right click on it and click copy or do the Command C. I'm on a Mac, so that's what it is on mine, a Command C. And then find where you want it and then do Command V to paste it. So if we're gonna have the Shiraz as a taster too, then you just format these so these move around this information. Now, because some of them have the wording over here and some of it's over here, I may want to do that with this one. I don't know. If you want to, you can just duplicate this item. What I simply do is then click crop, and I crop those little words so they're really close and not a lot of white space around. And then I crop this one so it's just the bottle. I'll move this over here and this over here. So it kind of looks the consistency of what we have going on. And then you can put this in the lineup if you're doing it in a certain lineup. And there you go. And then you can download this as a PDF or as a JPEG, depending on how you're going to print it. You can add your little QR code up here. I did that the other day. I would actually use my QR code a little bit bigger because it was kind of small, it looked like. And I have my little logo up there. So I have my wine with Tracy. If I know I'm doing it for a certain wine tasting, I might put that information up here as well for a certain company or for what we're giving back to. This is just a great place to start and to use and figure out if you want to have a handout at your tasting. These were actually the tasting I did the other day was pretty fun because they did take some of these little sheets away with them because then they know what they tasted. So this is fun. If you're ever doing an event and you have just, you know, people can only just have like one taste of something, these are great to print out. Print them out as a JPEG, maybe put them in a document and shrink them down so you can see all the wines, but then you can cross them off as you go along. It's also good for the people to have this information so when they leave the event, they can be like, oh yeah, here's this piece of paper with the wine that we tried. I like that. So make sure you have like your information on any single thing that you hand out. Always put your information on it. So like I have mine down here at the bottom. You can change yours and put it up at the top. Whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. I suggest maybe not using a specific code for a specific event link on here, because if somebody keeps that paper for a long time, or your catalog or whatever it is that you're handing out, the QR code, if they just link it to your my shop / whatever your URL is, that's probably best, because then it'll say search my events, so they could search Alzheimer's or American Cancer or whatever you named the event, they could search that in there. If they just type the letter A, it'll show all of the events that you have open anyway. So that's a really good way to lead people to your page as well. And again, if you want these different sizes, you can just, I don't know why this one is not grouping. There we go. And if you want to group something together like I just did, all you're doing is clicking the items and it'll have this little box around it, and then you pick group. Or let's say you want to ungroup it, still you can select it with this little box and then click the ungroup button. So this is just a good way to kind of play, figure out, it's kind of fun to figure out Canva this way. It's also kind of fun to have a great little tasting sheet to hand out to your guests at your event. Additionally, make sure whatever you do that you check out the what's on the website and what wines we're actually selling. So for instance, right now, this is June of 2021. The Pinot Noir is still this current Pinot Noir. The other Pinot Noir that's down here, this one, is not released yet. So just make sure that whatever you are selling or you are sharing with at a wine tasting, that the bottle imagery matches the bottle imagery. And that's good to tell people. So then you have that information there. Okay. And that way you're not saying, because this new, for instance, the new red blend is completely different than the red blend that we have now. The juice inside is, I think the new one's going to be even better because it was in our crush kit. If you had the crush kit, that's the new red blend that's coming out, which I thought was amazing, actually. So I can't wait to try it again because it was amazing. So anyway, I hope that helps. And I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. Cheers.